welcome to Author Talk with me, LG Thomson. The concept behind Author Talk is that on Tuesdays I'll be answering the kind of questions that authors often get asked by readers, and on Fridays I'll be sharing some of my favourite books. And today I'm going to be talking about the Hunger Anthology published by Urban Pigs Press. But before we get on to that, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I love short stories. I've always liked a short story. During lockdown period, my concentration, it kind of went, like I started to find like long books a wee bit daunting, that I couldn't focus. It was such a weird time, and I really started reading a lot of short stories then. I always had done, but like it became my kind of comfort thing, my go-to thing. Urban Pigs Press is a small independent press based in England, and in 2023 they put out a call for stories relating to the theme of hunger. This was for an anthology they were going to put out to raise money for a charity local to them called Families in Need. I liked the theme and I liked their ethos and what they were about, and so I submitted a story, and so I'm very, very happy to say that I'm one of the 23 authors that has got a story in the Hunger Anthology. This is my copy, and as you'll see it's quite dog-eared because it's been very well read and very, very well enjoyed. It's a fabulous anthology. The only theme running through is this idea of hunger, but there's all sorts of stories inside, and this is what I absolutely love about short stories. I'm really, really tempted to go into that like whole Forrest Gump quote about life being a box of chocolates, and you never know what you're going to get when you open up an anthology. This is just an absolute treasure trove. The cover design is by Joe Andrews of Mojo Art. The title page is pretty fantastic as well. That's by Cody Sexton of Anxiety Press. He's also responsible for designing the covers for my books, Modernist Dreams, Brutalist Nightmare and Bitter Fruit. I just absolutely love his work. So I'm just going to there'll be no spoilers in this, okay? I'm just going to have a wee flick through. I've marked a few short stories that I just want to mention in the book, just to give you a taste of what's going on in it. So let's take a look inside the Hunger Anthology. These are stories, it's been a little while since I finished reading it, and when I was flicking through it again, these are the ones that kind of stuck out and that, like, I really remember, like, that had a bit of punch for me the first time round. So let's have a wee dip in. I'm going to be reading, so take the specs off. It's the very first story in the book. It's called Waste by Sophia Adamowicz, and the very first line gives you an idea of what the story's about. You're not fat. And it's about someone with an eating disorder, but it doesn't play out the way that you think it's going to play out, and it's really, really well written, beautifully written by Sophia. The second story in the book is called 4, and it's by an author called LG Thomson. That's a bit immodest of me, but I just thought, like, I wanted to mention it because the shout out came out, like I say, like, the theme appealed to me, and I thought these were like great guys, and I thought I just want to be involved in this. And it was a story I had, like, it's one that I would call, it's set at sea. It's quite creepy, it's very, very weird, and in fact it's what I would call one of my wee weirdy stories. It is like, it's quite a tense, strange thing. So already very, very different from the first story. The next story I want to mention is by Paige Johnson, and it's called Green Girl, and it's about the life of a cam girl. The first line is strangeness is online currency. It's a fabulous story. Really, really interesting, gave me a bit of an insight into a world that I don't really know anything about. Not sure if I do want to know too much, but like, it's a loaded story. It was absolutely fantastic. Another one I want to mention is it's called Feeder, and it's by a dude called Sebastian Weiss. I have to, like, hands up here, like, Sebastian and Paige are both Outcast Press people. I didn't pick the stories for those reasons. I picked them because I particularly liked them, because they are very weird. Feeder actually made me laugh out loud, so it had to be included. And I'm not going to say anything more about it. If you want to know, you have to read it. The last story I want to mention here is called Bobby and Doug, and it's by a guy called Eddie Generous. The name seemed very familiar to me, and when I looked up, I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people that always reads the little author blurbs in the back. I always want to know who the people are, and I quite often end up following them on Twitter and so on. And from this, I found out that Eddie Generous is a Canadian author of more than 40 books. So I feel that at some point in the past, I may have read one of Eddie's books. Certainly when I was reading this short story, which is called Bobby and Doug, there was something familiar about it. I hadn't read this anywhere else. It's like all the stories are new and here, but there was something that immediately caught me up. The style seemed familiar, and the story just pulled me in. It's my absolute favourite story from this anthology. It pulled me in. It was really tense. I found it really quite scary, like in an enjoyable way. Like I could have probably have read a whole book of this if it was expanded out. So if you're ever seeing this, Mr. Generous, have a wee think about that. But I'm definitely going to look up Eddie's books after going through these. Absolutely fabulous. So I mean, that's another thing about like anthologies. Like there's it's a really good way of finding out about all sorts of different writers. And I also like the thing, like if there's a story that like you're not particularly getting, it's not doing it for you, like, you know, the next one's going to have a completely different flavour. But this absolutely fabulous anthology, it's the Hunger Anthology. It's published by Urban Pigs Press. It's well worth checking out. It's available online from the usual retailers, and you won't regret it. You'll get a good read, and you'll also be giving money to a good cause, because all funds raised from this are going to families in need. The editors, the designers, and the writers all gave their work for free, because we all believed in this, and I guess because we just all wanted to be part of it. So there we go, the Hunger Anthology by Urban Pigs.
Yes!
Hi, this is just a quick message to say thanks so much for all the support you've shown me so far. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and just to say that I'm going to be taking a short break over the holiday period, and I'll be back with Author Talk on January 7th, when I'll be doing my very first desk tour. See you then.